About 6 in the morning, and headed to play tennis in McKinney, at the courts in McKinney, with John, who I've never beat. Taken to a tiebreaker. I was up 4-1 against him last time we played. Of course, he came back and lost. But you know what? I don't feel bad because he wins on drop shots, and I don't chase drop shots. He's an expert at hitting drop shots. So we can be in the middle of a rally, baseline, and then he just drops a drop shot, and I'm too old to be running after those. And it's just not and I can't hit him. I don't know how I can't hit a drop shot. So it's a weapon of his. It's the best I've ever seen. So if he wants to win points on drop shots. I played another guy this week, Nestor, who hits the ball so hard. He's actually off the air. He's in the air when he hits it, like pros. If you ever look at a pro, their feet are off the ground when they're hitting the ball, and it's a lot funner that way. I told Nestor about this guy that I play that hits drop shots, and he said, "Well, that's no fun." So I do it. I do it to work out. That's why I do it. I had a resting heart rate this morning of 47. Hitting the golf ball good right now, and so things are kind of clicking on both cylinders. This radio station in Dallas, they play such good songs. Oldies, all 70s. I think it's mostly 70s. I don't even think it's 80s. I have a friend that I've been talking to that I grew up with in our neighborhood. To make a long story short, he's now keeping the Sabbath after talking to him and going over prophecies of Daniel and Revelation. Never went to an Adventist church in his life. Went to his first Adventist church last Sabbath. Loved it. He may drive down here for a rally that the 3ABN's having in Crowley, Texas in a couple weeks. It's today the 30th? Yeah. I also heard from another tennis partner that I hadn't heard from in a year. He texted me, Robert, who was probably my favorite tennis partner. And he just took a year off, and now he wants to get back into it. He texted me last night. I said, heck yeah, Robert, anytime you want. He works at, he's a vice president with, what's that company? I forgot. Not EDS. Oh, Texas Instruments. Just built a beautiful home in up in Salina, and he's another guy that we could just hit the ball for extended rallies. Today we're having pizza and spaghetti at Joe's Pizza in Carrollton with my friend Dave from the gym. It reminds me of my dad. He's getting close to 80 years old. He's about 77, I think. He used to be an iron worker, big, strong. He's gone back to church. Heard me talking to another guy about the Bible. Started talking to him. I think people sense their mortality, you know. Probably had one of the most divisive Sabbath school classes last Sabbath. I was being attacked. Didn't bother me none. In a good way. But teacher is more of a moral influence type teacher, which is something that a lot of the more of the forensic atonement. I'm come down on the side of the forensic atonement, that God demanded the sinner be punished, and He punished him in the name of punished His Son for us. But moral influence, like my friend Bill Dill. My friend Bill Dill wrote an excellent article on moral influence. Pastor Carter detested moral influence. Des Ford even did. They teach it at higher institutions like Loma Linda. Basically, God is a big teddy bear. He doesn't punish us. We end up punishing ourselves, and the cross was a mere demonstration of God's love. And while that's true, it was a demonstration of God's love. What they ignore is the righteousness of God. Right in Romans, it says He did this to demonstrate His justice. You see, it doesn't say to demonstrate His love, to demonstrate His justice. Right in Romans 3. That was a price that had to be paid for sin, vicarious atonement that the Father demanded. And moral influence doesn't like to talk about any of that, justice and punishment. That's dark speech to them. But it's deep theology, and my daughter made a good point. She said that moral influence kind of reduces the cross and what it cost. See, there was a price that the Hebrews says, without the shedding of blood, there's no remission of sin. So it was illegal. See, God can now legally take us home. And I think the more you study it and the deeper you go, the more you rejoice in a God who isn't a flake. He's not a big teddy bear. He has a law, and He upholds His own law, and He took His own medicine. Moral influence doesn't want to hear any of that. They just say God is love, and He does not punish. We end up punishing ourselves. Well, no, we end up choosing to be punished by God. So the whole class was pretty much against me, and then I've had a few contact me since, say, hey, you were right. They went home and did some research. One guy texted me, hey, George, you were right. I said to the teacher, do you believe God punishes according to their works? Because that flies in the face of moral influence. And he came back, he really didn't have an answer. And of course, that's in the Bible. Jesus said, or the Bible says, all are punished according to their works. That's not moral influence. That's not God as a big teddy bear, and that's not you punishing yourself. And that's not Satan punishing you. In fact, I even brought up the fact that the sins of the righteous are eventually transferred to Satan. That's justice. You see, God is just. In the end, the Song of Moses is true and just are your ways. And Satan never accused God of not loving us. He accused God of being unfair, unjust. Now, this is about God's law. So I held my ground in the face of fierce opposition, and I know the Bible. I've studied it, so it's just experience. Dealt with moral influence for many years, going back to Carter days in the 90s, and Bill Dill hated moral influence. But it's off to McKinney. They have indoor courts now, and then the gym, and then golf, and then mow the lawn, and then the gym, and then Joe's Pizza, and then Sabbath. In that order. All right. God bless.